Samson. And single people, please understand, there's a difference between neediness and love. Are you taking down notes? Single people, this is important. When you confuse love with neediness, you're going to get hurt. You think it's love. No, it's not. It's neediness. That's what happened. Samson fell in love with Delilah, who needed him, did not love him. And at the end of his life, Delilah tricked him, deceived him, and sold him to the enemy. Samson started strong, finished wrong. At the end of his life, this superhero became a slave. The enemy gouged out his eyes from his sockets. He became totally blind. And there were chains in his arms, his legs. They treated him as an animal. And until the end of his life, he worked and labored for his enemy. Samson started strong, finished wrong. You want to know why? Do you want to be like Samson? No. You want to know why he finished wrong? Ask me why. Because there are two things that you need in life, and Samson had only one and did not have the second one. The two things that you need in life is capacity and character. Say that with me, capacity and character. Ask me, what is capacity? Capacity would be your abilities, your skills, your talents, your gifting. That's your capacity. Capacity is what you can do. Character is who you are. It's your integrity. Are you listening to me? It's your ethics. It's your ability to be faithful, to be loyal, to be loving, to be concerned of others, to work for something bigger than yourself. That's character. Samson had capacity. He had no character. Short-term success can be based on capacity. Long-term success can never happen unless you have character. Are you with me? There are people here right now, you've got capacity. You've got abilities. You've got talents. Praise God. Thanks be to God. But if you want long-term success, you've got to have character. Character. You know, Samson reminds me of someone I read about recently. There is this priest, and he was known to be a holy man. That is the PR image being projected. He started a congregation many decades ago, a congregation of priests. He was a founder, and he was such a capable man. His capacity was incredible. He was a fantastic leader, an incredible organizer. He is probably, many historians believe, the best, the greatest fundraiser in modern Catholic history. This priest, many people believe to be so holy. You see, in his congregation, you're not allowed to speak negatively about him, about their founder. You could not. And I believe that was wrong. And now it came, you know, the congregation at one point was the fastest growing congregation of priests in the Catholic Church. That's how wonderful and great this congregation was at the particular time. It was the darling of the Vatican because their theology was very conservative. They held on to very, very conservative theology. And then one day, news broke out that some seminarians were abused by this man. And there was denial. No, it's not true. No, it's not true. No, it's not true. But then more news came out, more garbage came out, that this holy priest had 3 women. He was in a sexual relationship with 3 women, possibly 6. He had children with these women. And here was the most sickening part. he also abused his own children. A holy man, a priest, a founder, someone with great capacities, but with no character. Pope Benedict instructed this man to go on retreat and to do penance for his sins for the rest of his life. He died after 1 year. He started strong, but he finished wrong. You know, when I read stories like that, I'm reminded of two things. Number one, do you want to know? I'll give you a formula. May I give you a formula for knowing your long-term impact in the lives of people? Do you want to know if you have impact in the lives of people? Do you want to know if you're going to be effective to your children and to your friends? Do you want to know? Your I'm not short-term impact, long-term impact. You want to know? Let me give you a formula. Say formula. Your character is a multiplier of your capacity. Let me say that again, just in case you didn't get that. Your character is a multiplier of your capacity. Let me introduce you to 3 friends. May I? Let's call them PICC, PICC, and Boom. PICC is someone who cannot speak well. He doesn't have the capacity to do that. PICC is someone who has below average intelligence. So in other words, he doesn't have much gifts, he doesn't have much talent, he has a little. Let's give a number to his capacity. Let's say from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, let's give his capacity a 3. But his character is sterling. He's honest, he's faithful, he's loving, he's selfless. Let's give a number to his character, 10. So multiply that and you will get his long-term impact on people's lives. His capacity is 3, do the math, times his character is 10. What's his long-term impact? 3. That's PICC. Let's go to another friend, PICC. PICC is someone who is totally gifted, speaks well, intelligent, brilliant fellow. Let's give a number to his capacity. He's a 10. Character is dishonest. He's thinks only of himself, selfish. Let's give a number to his character, 0. Multiply that. 10 capacity times 0 character. What's his long-term impact? 0. 0. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting my message? Capacity is good, it's important, and it's overemphasized in our world, but you need what? You need character. You need character to build a marriage. You need character to raise up your kids. You need character to be good in your career, to be blessed in your business. You need character. Are you listening to me? I said there are 3 people. PICC, PICC. You want me to share you about Boom? Boom. Totally gifted. Just like PICC, incredibly brilliant, talented fellow. Let's give him a 10. Character, he's not only dishonest, he abuses the goodness of other people. He is immoral. He is an immoral person. He doesn't have integrity. Let's give a number. It's not 0. It's negative 10. Now you multiply that. 10 for capacity, negative 10 for character. 10 times negative 10 is negative 100. That is what happens to despots, to tyrants. You got what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? This gifted people who are immoral will have a dangerous impact in the lives of the priest I talked about, who is so gifted, organized, and establishes a great congregation, but because of a negative character, causes people to lose faith. And there are people right now who are saying, if a priest can do that, who is so close to the Vatican, my gosh, and people when I read stories like that, can I say something personal and share with you? Open my heart to you? May I? I get scared because I'm a leader and I preach to you. It makes me scared because it can happen to everyone. I have temptations. I experience temptation. I was telling a group of preachers a few days ago, when you're a preacher, everybody's eyes look at you. And they look at you with admiration and with openness. And you know what? There are women who are attracted to men who can speak well and who stands on stage. Plus the fact that, don't look too bad. It is always a temptation. And I tell my wife this, and I tell my close friends this, that we're always open to temptation. And we can never say, we're beyond this, I'm immune to this, because the moment you say that, then that's your downfall. And it scares me. And I pray to God that I'd rather die than be a scandal. I'd rather die. I don't want people to lose faith because of me, to lose the relationship with God because of me. And my prayer is that I'll remain faithful until the end. That's my prayer, that I will finish strong. And that's my prayer for you. I have a little tool, a special tool that I bring out every time I have temptations. Every time there is a big temptation. My problem, this position that I'm in has 3 temptations, okay? It's sex, money, and power. That's the temptation I have. Any person with leadership is open to that temptation. And you need to hold tight to Jesus. But I have a special little reminder that I give myself. May I share this with you? Please stand before I do. Someone said this line, dream as if you will live forever. Live as if you will die today. Let me Christianize this phrase. Dream as if you will live forever. Do you believe that you will live forever in the kingdom of heaven? Do you believe that you have an eternal soul? Do you believe that one day you will be in heaven because of the mercy of God? My dear friends, dream as if you will live forever. Meaning to say, your eyes must be focused on the finish line. And when you think of heaven, from the vantage point of heaven, everything in this world that you consider important is not important anymore. Do you agree? All the fancy stuff that we like, all the money in the bank and all the land titles and all the luxury cars and the fame and the popularity and all of that is meaningless. It lessens its value when you look at heaven and you realize that's your future home. Amen? But, everybody say but. You are not only to dream as if you will live forever, you should also live as if you will die today. Ask me why. Because the finish line can happen today. You're to focus on the finish line. It could be 50 years from now, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, next week, tomorrow, but it can happen today. And I want you to remind yourself always. Do you want to finish strong? Everybody say, I want to finish strong. The way to finish strong is to live as if you will die today. Will you live differently if you knew that you will sleep tonight and not wake up tomorrow? Answer me. What if an angel approached you right now and said, excuse me, you have 12 hours to live. You're going to die tonight. Would you live differently in the next 12 hours? Will you act differently, think differently, talk differently? raise your hand if you'll agree with me that if you knew you're gonna die 12 hours from now, raise up your hand if you will. No, don't raise your hand. Yeah, I haven't asked a question yet. Raise your hand if. Imagine, okay? Are you with me on this? You're gonna die 12 hours from now. Will you, in the next 12 hours, say I love you to the people in your life? Right? Even if it's corny, even if it's mushy, you'll do it. Am I right? How many of you will do this? You will hug your parents, even if you've never hugged them before in your life. You will do it because you know. How many of you will do it? How many of you will do this? You'll spend time with your kids. You've got 12 hours to live. How many of you will play Angry Birds 12 hours? You know you have 12 hours to live and you'll play Angry Birds for 2 hours. Will you do that? No, you won't. You have all the time to play that in heaven. With some fancy gizmo not yet invented on earth. Am I making sense here? How many of you will do this? That in the next 12 hours, if you knew that it was your last 12 hours, you will try to be the best human being possible. Will you do that? You'll be the most respectful. You know, you'll be driving in traffic and somebody cuts you. Instead of shouting because you know you have 12 hours to live, you say, God bless you. You'll do that, right? You bet. You bet. You know? You're going to forgive your enemy. You have 12 hours to live. My gosh, who are the enemies I'm going to forgive? Oh, Lord, bless for. You know, who else? You're going to be the best, the most ethical person you can ever be. And that's what we want to do. Because it's possible that you can die anytime. Amen? I want you to pray with me now that we be people that will finish strong. Lift up your hands if this is an okay posture for you and just say this out loud. Father, I want to finish strong. I ask you to help me to be faithful, to be a person of character. Brothers and sisters, do not become like Samson. Do not become like Raul. Do not become like that priest I shared with you. No. Finish strong. Endure until the end. God says, I will finish the work I have begun in you. God promises that He will never give up on you. He will bring you to completion. Say this after me. Your work is in my life. Your strength